Right, on to another big story that we are tracking from the United States, where US President Joe Biden has called the problem of gun violence in the United States of America an epidemic. And he also went on to state that he wants stricter gun laws within his country. Now, the new US administration has unveiled the initial actions to address the increasing gun violence within the nation. The Biden government has come up with 6 initial actions to curb gun violence, and Biden announced the moves that are designed to revamp the US federal gun policy. As gun control activists rejoice, gun owners are seeing their right to self-defense at risk. But Biden has said that his job is to protect the lives of American people, and he'll do this even if he has to curb the rights of American people to own firearms, including assault rifles, such as the ones that you're looking at on your screens.
We've got a long way to go. It seems like we always have a long way to go. But also today we're taking steps to confront not just the gun crisis, but what is actually a public health crisis. Nothing I'm about to recommend in any way impinges on the Second Amendment. They're phony arguments suggesting that these are Second Amendment rights at stake from what we're talking about. But no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. You can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater. We call it freedom of speech. From the very beginning, you couldn't own any weapon you wanted to own. From the very beginning the Second Amendment existed, certain people weren't allowed to have weapons. So the idea is just bizarre to suggest that some of the things we're recommending are contrary to the Constitution. Gun violence in this country is an epidemic.
So gun violence in the country is an epidemic. That's how the American president has described some of the incidents that have happened in recent days. The recent high-profile mass shootings in Boulder that resulted in the deaths of 10 individuals, and in Atlanta that resulted in the lives of 8 individuals being lost, underscored the relentlessness of this epidemic. The Biden administration, of course, has come up with 6 initial policies to try and curb gun violence within the country. Biden announced the 6 initial moves designed to revamping the U.S. federal gun policy.
Every day in this country, 316 people are shot every single day. 106 of them die every day. Our flag was still flying at half-staff for the victims of the horrific murder of 8 primarily Asian American people in Georgia, when 10 more lives were taken in a mass murder in Colorado. You probably didn't hear it, but between those 2 incidents, less than 1 week apart, there were more than 850 additional shootings. 850 that took the lives of more than 250 people and left 500 injured. This is an epidemic, for God's sake, and it has to stop.
It has to stop. That is the American president stating that. Now, cities across the United States are in the middle of a historic spike in the number of homicides and also gun-related violence that disproportionately impacts black and brown Americans, although these are not the ones who are purchasing these firearms. Now, the US president further said that he's committed to taking action to reduce all forms of gun violence. Biden announced several steps to curb the epidemic of gun violence. Within 30 days, the United States will issue a proposed rule to help stop the proliferation of ghost guns. The Justice Department will also publish model red flag legislation for states. The red flag laws allow family members or law enforcement agencies to petition for a court order temporarily barring people in crisis from accessing firearms if they present a danger to themselves or to others. President Biden has also nominated David Chipman, a former special agent in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives. The department is also known as ATF. Now, Chipman is the first permanent director of the agency in more than 6 years. Given the fraught nature of gun politics, only one ATF director has been confirmed by the U.S. Senate in the last 15 years, leaving the agency mostly run by a string of acting bosses. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.